Warm blessings, everyone. Today I have a couple things to chat about. You guys can feel free to comment on the live stream. Today I wanted to give a disclosure, and that's going to be from a shamanic standpoint. For all those that are on the journey, went off the journey, and I'm talking about the spiritual journey. The journey that you guys actually felt or maybe were awakened to try to figure out really what is this part of you that you have been missing. And it goes way beyond the linkage of your feeling lost, of your trying to do your soul seeking. It goes way beyond that. And this is the world that we live in today. So the disclosure that I have today has a lot of truths to it. And it's been a long time awaiting, a long time coming. Be sure to share this video. Some of the things I want to say offhand before I start. Share this video with people that needs it now, people that maybe are partially awakened. And when I say awakened, it means awakened to the truth, awakened to really what this life is all about in this paradigm that we are living in. The foods that we eat, the people that we are around. You know, what is this life mean to us at the end of the day? And why are we here? Why are we trying to find our spiritual journey? Why are we trying to really find the truth? And what is this truth? Right? What is this truth that you guys are trying to find, in fact? Especially those that are doing Nengyai in whether culture, whatever culture you're in. You've been drawn to really seek out your spiritual gifts and abilities. And for those of you that have been doing that, it's been really tough, right? For the last even 20 years. It's been real tough. I've been in different shamanic groups on social media, and I've seen a couple of different comments in there on how what type of dreams you're having, what are all the things you're doing. People that I've helped along the way and done healing for within the last, I would say 10 years here plus, have been going through a ton of paranormal activities, feeling lost inside, feeling like they don't belong. That's a big part of it right now. And seeing them go through their journeys and trying to figure out really what is all this coming to? What is the end result that I'm trying to get myself to? I mean, by all means, I didn't know where I was going in the beginning when I started my journey. But at the age of 2, just knowing that there's something bigger out there than ourselves. There's something bigger out there in the universe, physical universe, that we haven't seen in real life. And that is there. And I wanted to also say that in the spiritual journey, there is going to be some things that you guys go on and feel like you're in a different dimension from day 1 and another dimension in day 2 and so on and so forth, right? So there's all these different places that your head could be. There's also these different feelings and emotions that you're going to feel from day in and day out. And social media is adding, really, truthfully, it's adding to the destruction of your brain cells, basically. It's adding to the destruction of your true human and natural human being kind. You being kind, right? You having compassion and feeling empathy for others. It's really, as you go on and look, I just want to talk about social media a bit here. As you go on and look at what other people are posting out there on social media, it's giving you an analysis in your head of what you should look like, what you should be, or what you don't have and what you do have. And there's a comparison automatically within your brains. And these brain cells should not have to go through this, right? So I want you guys to take a second look at that, or third or fourth or fifth, whatever it takes for you guys to realize that it's unhealthy for your brain cells, the blood that runs in your body, the chi that functions within your body to put your blood to where it needs to go and to function as a human being correctly and mindfully. How can you be mindful if you're always out on social media comparing and feeling irritable, right? How is that healthy? That's on the spiritual aspect of that. Your body and your blood, your fluids in your body, the functioning of your brain cells is basically at a minimum. And it's not working towards its best. It's not working towards being more mindful, but yet you would preach that you want to be mindful, that you would also say that you're trying to be mindful and more spiritual, trying to seek out your spirituality. But instead, you are drawn there. It is not also fully your fault, but you should take responsibility for that. It is also another's responsibility, and that's what I'm going to get down to on this disclosure. What is the truth? What is it that you're trying to find when you're saying that you're seeking the truth of your spiritual journey? You go into dreams and you talk about dreams. And there's a ton of you out there that are young and are not sure what is this all about. And you're talking about the types of dreams that you have, lion, tigers, and bears, right? And you talk about those things. And those are your dreams. And then you talk about in time dreams. These are the dreams that people are having that talks about, or that has visions and gives you visions, gives you this whole idea and scares you emotionally about the end of the world, about ETs coming down, about different people doing different things that are not good. So, or even animalistic types of dreams. And these dreams are very scary sometimes, but they're also very disturbing to the brain, to the functionality of your mindset. Okay? So that's one thing too in this disclosure. These dreams, you want to be careful about the dreams that you're having in this time. Maybe you didn't know it at later date and times. But today, I want to tell you that the dreams that you're having, they're tricky. Why? Because there are certain devices out there, and I'm not going to prove it, but you need to go find it. There are certain devices or people or things that are going to come into your dreams and force your dreams to dream a certain way. And there are good ones and there are bad ones. And these things will come into your dreams to mess with your psyche. And when they mess with your psyche, they are really messing with your head, and they'll make you function a certain way. And for example, being irritable when you shouldn't have to be, being annoyed when you shouldn't have to be, removing yourself from society when you shouldn't have to be. Okay. Thinking about it goes into your anxiety as well. It prompts anxiety, actually, some of these bad dreams, because it's messing with your psyche. It's prompting your psyche to really be afraid to be who you are, and to not know who you are, and to try to still now yet go with the flow and then be influenced to be who you are. We are all influenced, everyone. We are all also judged by each other. Until we get there, until we don't feel that, until we are unbiased, then we will know how to actually elevate ourselves into a higher consciousness. And those that will do that will bring themselves to a higher consciousness. Someone says, I have no recollection of my dreams. What could help me? If you don't have a recollection of your dreams, there is something in your psyche that is also being blocked. It's blocked for a good thing. Sometimes it's blocked for a not good reason. Okay? This, if you try to do meditation and you don't have dreams, that's also, sometimes it's a good thing. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing if you don't recollect your dreams. Though you are dreaming them, right? You are dreaming them, but they are affecting your psyche, though you don't recollect them. So that's also, unless you're not dreaming them, zero, and you don't have dreams at all. But if you do know that you have dreams and you're just not recollecting them, then there's something blocked there, just like if you were to do a meditation and you can't meditate, you're blocked, or you feel like there's a lot of noise in your head. That's one. The other thing is you feel like you can't see anything, right? You can't have anything in your head, as in even imagining something, and it's just black. So that's one thing. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your meditation. If you're a young adult and you're going through this whole feeling of you don't belong, this sense of not belonging, this sense of really feeling like you don't want to live forward or live on, and you have this irritable feeling of just a ton of judgments towards you, like you can't live up to your expectations or others' expectations, and or you can't live up to your own expectations, right? Then you must seek this part of you and understand. Go back to my video on paranoia. Go back to that video and learn the difference between light and dark, negative and positive. In this world right now, we need to be able to separate light from dark. We need to be able to separate evil from good in our own minds, right? In our own minds. We need to be able to separate this negativity from positivity, because the world that we live in right now is way too much corrupted to teach us good from bad. You must go back to the basics, and this basics is this peace that most of you are yearning for, that most of you are trying to find, that you call it, and we call it, the missing link. If you have been feeling lost for quite some time, like the last 10 years, and you still haven't found it, there's something there that you need to wake up to, and you may not wake up until something big happens. Such as, and it could sound really off topic, but ET's coming down. Because there's a date and there's a time for everything. And it's not nonsense until you actually feel and until you actually see this thing coming in and hitting. You'll start to see throughout the things that I have seen in my experience and till now, you'll start to see that there's a wave of information coming out, and coming out from the media, from wherever they want you to know and listen to. And you'll start to see all these information coming out in regards to things that you could have only imagined that could be real or not real. And you question that. You question what can be real at this point in time. And you question if the system that we live in is a true system that you can believe in. And for some of you, you can't believe in that anymore. And you want to fight for justice, but perhaps you're fighting it a way that cannot be understood. You want to bring in justice for humanity, but then how can there be justice for humanity when at the top of the stream, the source of that organization is incorrect? You can agree with me or disagree with me, but that is the facts. We want to believe that everything is good and nice, and we want to believe that our journey is going to lead us to a truth. Typically, it does. But for those of you that have pretty much bad-mouthed your truth, bad-mouthed your journey, and basically threw it away by bad-mouthing it, right? Because it's all about the voice. It's all about you shouting. It's all about your what's in your head. Remember, it is all about what's in your head, because then you have to pay attention what's right, what's, I'll say this again, what's correct and what's not correct. Because what's not correct, it's what's not going to get you there, right? Because it's not going to get you there. It's not going to get you to improve who you are, to know better who you are, your purpose, your journey. And this is not just your spiritual journey, but your life journey in general. And what is our purpose in this lifetime? For some of us, we have higher purposes than others. And for others, it's to do physical purposes, things that are in our waking life right now that we must pay attention to and fight for our rights. And the question also is, what side are you on? Dark or light? Black or white? This has nothing to do with political black or white, but this has a lot to do with the spiritual aspect of darkness and light. And if you can't distinguish that, then you have to listen. Then you have to listen to who you are. You have to go back and listen to what is going to lead you to the correct way or to the truth. The truth is what is going to work with humanity. If you are meditating right now in your spiritual journey, in your spiritual path, and you still haven't seen anything, then there's something absolutely wrong. And you're blocked. Remember, there is a system out there and has always been and always will be with humanity. And this system has no tangible system. However, you must be one of the persons, right? As you are here on earth, living your life right now, listening right now, you need to wake up to that system. Don't give in and live in the negativity. Again, go back to the paranoia video, because that's gonna talk about deciphering what is correct from incorrect, what is light from dark. This feeling of and desire to be free, because who has the desire to be free, right? Everybody has a desire to be free right now, but they feel like they can't. And the only ones that actually feel like they're free is probably the guy on the street that's homeless. It is probably also the guy that's backpacking and walking for miles. But yet, we are not gaining this freedom because it is within our heads. Someone, something is forcing this negativity or control within our heads. And if you don't believe me, go back to think about your dreams, if you can recollect them. If you are a meditator, go back to meditate. If you are a healer in some way, whatever way you are in, go back to check. if that is true. Listen to what is the truth. The truth will feel right to you. No one wants to work, right? No one wants to slave. But the society that we live in, the system that we live under, is doing just that. The question to you is, will you awaken? Will you awaken to this and not slave away? I give this disclosure for the main fact that I am here to not judge you, that I'm here to give you some peace of mind, at least to know the truth. You're not going to be at peace of mind because you will feel disturbed with the disclosures in the coming days, if they do come out. But here is my disclosure in regards to the shamanic or spiritual aspect. Because in the spiritual aspect, I live every day fighting paranoia, people who has paranoia, people who has to deal with the truth that is actually intangible. And it's hard for them to deal with it because it's within their heads. It is also within their lives because then it prompts them to do negative actions and for them to have a negative effect on their bodies, such as illnesses. The more that you give into this, how do I say, not true, negative thoughts. These negative thoughts are thoughts that are irritating and thoughts that makes the person take action to do the worst things that you can imagine to themselves or to one another. This is also the other cause that I wanted to talk about and disclose about, which is the young deaths that we've been seeing so much for the past, I don't know, 3-4 years here, or even more. But I know that I just been feeling like it's been maybe about 3 to 5 years here, that there's been so much young deaths, or some deaths in general as well, just a ton. But these young deaths just gets to me, where these young people do not know where to turn to because their parents are off and just more worried about the whole system, meaning money, trying to live, trying to pay bills. And the system is suppressing these young folks to not be able to find themselves or to really know about the value of life and the universal values of compassion, kindness, and to be who you need to be as a person, because their parents has also been lost. Grandparents somewhat as well. And for so many centuries in society, we've been lost on a big level. But now we've also lost and are losing our young children. And some are in their teens and 20s. And my heart just goes out to these young kids because they don't know where to turn. And sometimes they feel isolated within their spaces, whatever that space may be or wherever that may be. Even if they are poor or rich or middle class, it doesn't matter what the status is. They are feeling lost in society and they don't know who to turn to or where to go. Then they turn to something totally different and off topic that they were actually really searching for. And I'm really tired of actually seeing this happen to these young folks. The system that we live in does not support this. Honestly, with COVID and vaccines, really, are we really supporting these young children and sustaining our human race? Really, are we? Go back and ask yourself that. How did COVID come along? How did the vaccines come along? Or were they planned to and conspired to be as what they are today? We cannot live the lives that what we know and how we knew this life. We cannot live as how we did and who we are or who we were because of the disclosures that are coming or that are held back from us. We know it's right behind this veil. We know it, don't we? Some of us are looking for the human purpose, and some of us are looking for our own purpose, and we just don't want to give a care about the big picture, but we just want to care about ourselves because it's too hard for us to handle. But everybody is one consciousness. I hope you understand this. Everybody affects another in the energy. And if you don't find your purpose, that's okay because you are on the purpose. Do you get it? What you are looking for is really to speak out, to talk out of what your truth is and what you really believe in, and not what someone else influenced you to believe in and is not helping you, is not helping your family, is not helping your illness, is not helping you in any other way except to pay your bills, except to live in a life that you are feeling fake, and you're not even sure where the future is going to really lead to, really. And if you believe in ETs and you have felt that and you have experienced that, don't deny that. Because the more that you can believe in good ETs coming down to help us, because that's the spiritual disclosure today. There are good ones coming down and have been coming down through our minds, but it's hard for you to distinguish, isn't it? It's hard for you to admit, isn't it? And no one wants to work as a slave. No one wants to be a slave to the negativity. But did you know that you had been? Did you know that you had been in these negative dreams? Sometimes they are preconception dreams, but you have to do something about them if they are a preconception. If they are something predetermined, you must then do something about what you just saw. Otherwise, yes, it can happen. Because then it is in your mind, it is fed into your mind, and then you feel like you are going to actually see this, right? This precognitive dream or meditation that you've just done, or something that just a split second came into your head and it was real and then it happened. If you were to stop yourself to do something about it, then maybe it wouldn't have happened. I'm just kind of reading off what the chat is saying here. Yes, we all want to be a Care Bear, Scorpio. Because we all want to be caring. We all actually, really what we're really fighting for is justice, but it is justice there, but really what we're saying is we have compassion for one another. And as bad of an enemy as you may have out there, so if you have an enemy somewhere on this planet, embrace them. Because really what they're trying to do is to communicate clearly, but there was somewhere along the way, there was a miscommunication or a misconception. And someone that was in the negative had been fed something negative into their heads to now have a misconception, to now have a miscommunication, and now are your enemy. Can you see this picture? My father always said, love wins all. And it does at the end of the day, because I've seen it. And through the spiritual realm, love still wins all. Through the physical realm, love still conquers all. But it's up to you to decipher this love. Why do you have an enemy? Why is this enemy there if you do have one? Why do we have wars? Why is there a spiritual warfare going on right now and has been going on? It's been quietly going on for those of you that has not been awakened to it. And for those of you that are awakened to it, you can feel that it is on now. The things that I speak today, you guys will look back on and realize, and even if you realize right now, great, because then it is what you're feeling as well. Don't deny this feeling, because the more that you deny it, the more that the negatives, or shall I say, satanic energies will get to you and your family and make it dysfunctional, just like any other family that I have talked to and helped and healed for the last 10 years. I hope you guys will know how much my heart goes out to everyone today that is listening and who that will be listening, whether you agree with me or not. Because really, what are we fighting for, really? We're really fighting for freedom to live as we shall. This is not going crazy all over the place and doing what we will. There is a law and order of the universe and values that are instilled within our ancestors, the ones who put us here on earth. And they will be coming back and have come back through the spiritual mindset to awaken you. That's why there's been so many people on the awakening and conscious mindset. That's why there's also been so many people saying, I feel like I have a missing link, but I don't know where it is. And I don't know how to find it. Because it is within yourself that you must break this code. And through the breaking of the code, you're going to find so much downloads that you would have never thought possible, and that you wouldn't have never believed if you did not awaken to this code or this breakage. Sometimes it will take, and as I always said, it may take a wall for you to hit. It may take 2. It may take 3. It may take 4, 5, and whatever how many walls it needs to be for you to wake up. And until you do, you're still going to be searching. And you're going to keep searching some more. Is it in money? Is it in career? Is it really in a person that you feel like should love you or that you should love? Is it really in the people that surround you, this purpose? No. Is it really somewhere that you need to travel to and find it there? Well, maybe traveling to there. You may hit a wall or two by going there or traveling there, but that's not where this purpose is. But it is how you can find it. Going there, traveling, talking to people, maybe having arguments and disputes with your family members once in a while, and realizing that you have a dysfunctional family. But that is not to say that there is an illness there or in you. Or that is not to say that you should downgrade yourself even further or your family. You should still be proud of your family and where you come from. It doesn't matter how bad it was or is, because you still have blood. You still have breath. and your purpose is yet to be found, though to do the purpose is really just to fight for your right to have freedom. This is the freedom, spiritual freedom, physical freedom, the freedom to breathe and live, the freedom to really just love. However you got off the path, you need to find it back. Because no one is going to help you find it back, not the system for sure. Especially with more vaccines that are coming along the way, with more illnesses that per se is just happened. Like COVID, right? It just happened. I'll share with you that right before COVID happened last year, about a month ago, a month before COVID hit, I was taught by my guides, and messages came in, channeled in, and said, and you guys will laugh at me, but get the rice. Because in between time, you still have to survive, right? And I warned other people that surrounded me, that whoever those loved ones were, I just said, I think you guys can get food. And sure enough, we were out of, shelves and stuff like that. We're no food. There was things that were out of, right, that you needed in those times. Medication, medicine, Western medicine maybe. I don't have a hate or a like for Western medicine or any medicine. I'd say all medicines are good if you know how to use them. And they work when they need to, right? So everything has its benefits. You just have to know how to decipher, to know when to use them, to know how to use them, and not actually be drawn to sink into them. It is a deciphering, it is a discernment of the person. And until you get awakened to learn what is good and what is not good, then you'll know how to utilize this in this society, in this system. Sure enough, I want to let everyone know that today you need to pray and ask for the good ETs to come to help, because our society is diminishing one by one. The young ones, the old ones, and the ones in between are trying to find their way. This sense of not belonging has so much to do with you not facing your truth today. And if you deny the truth, you will only continue to learn the hard way, as our societies have been trying to learn for centuries, because we have been in control. No one is going to want to disclose to you the truth. If you feel this and felt this already of what I'm saying today, then you know it's true. Then I'm just confirming back to you. Why do people feel the way they do right now, as in so much anxiety? They don't want to go to work, right? They don't want to work. They don't want to work. They don't want to slave. They don't want to be a part of the system that slaves. So a new system is going to come out if you deny that, the old system. It is a system of universal basic income. That one might also very much hurt too. What can help, what can work, has to be a total change. Has to be a total change. This total change, what comes with it? Well, let's just channel it in. Take a deep breath for all of you that are listening. And I'm going to channel some things in today. How can this system continue? It will not. Don't be afraid. Don't be worried. Don't be like others who have not discerned, who have not participated in a more conscious mind. If you have hate for this system, then let it go. 2. Balance yourself now and seek what needs to come. Though some may be harsh and hard to intake, the vast of our human kind will be sustained. Significantly, you must participate in opening your mind. Participate. Stop hating. Stop irritating. Of them, of those, of the ones in your family, too. Instead, seek the way. There are ways. There is ways. The good hears and knows, but they cannot invade. For you must pray, for you must be willing to make your say. If you have compassion for your family, for your coming days, you must ask for help, for aid. Nothing will come, nothing will see to your saddening days if you don't and aren't willing to make your say. We are here, and you must not fear. Though discern yourself for the light of the dark. Come to your flight to realize, 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 realize. Dark from light, night from day. Make your say, dear ones. Your fear lies with those lies. Wake up to your flight with new eyes. Today you will awaken as new eyes start to be taken inside of yourself and utilized inside of yourself. Denial only lags your time. Until then, so many are taken. Take a deep breath, everyone. I'm going to stop here. There's so much work that needs to be done, and this week has been so tough. There's been so much. For the people that have now felt illnesses due to their denial of their finding their path, of finding the truth, there has also been so much hardship with those that are being taken, as they say. They're being taken because they don't find these young ones, or even old, but mostly these young ones that have so much future in front of them. They are being taken like it's nothing, like life is so easy to be made. The spirits inside your soul right now knows, if you're listening, they know that you need to keep going. They know that you need to keep finding this truth and facing it. Because the more that you deny it and hide away, wherever that space is, it's not working, it's not helping. And it's just going to lag your life away until you face it. So much warm blessings to all of you. Because the dimensions that you are and you choose to be in is going to be the dimension that you actually live in. The dimensions, there's here and now and there and wherever. These spiritual dimensions are within your dreams that you get taken to. Did you know that? In your dreams, the spirits of your soul gets taken to a dimension and comes back. Because that's how it works. That whole dream cycle was meant for you to actually get premonition of what is to come in your life and what is in the way of your life. It's to warn you, forewarn you, or give you some good feelings through your gut feeling, your intuition, so that you can prepare for whatever is coming. However, from centuries ago, it has been hacked, so to speak. And the hackings begin through the negativity and their ways. As we speak, those negativities, negative, whatever that you want to call them, dark energies, may or may not hear, may or may not sight. However, I want you to know and discern with me and cancel their noise out. You must be willing to cancel anything negative that comes into your life, whether that is through an argument, whether that was through you fighting for justice and somebody did you wrong. The question is, at the end of the day, does that matter? Does it really matter what someone said to you? If they were cussing at you? If they were really just trying to say bad names to you? No. Because at the end of the day, if a ship was to come, right? A good ship, what would happen? If a negative thing was to happen, which we don't want it to, but that's something of a could happen, right? If you don't make your say, like the channeling had said, if you don't make your say, there, the way is not going to be of yours. It will be controlled. And the control is going to be out of your hands. Your dreams and your intuition has already told you so much already. But when will you believe it? When will you actually say, I actually believe my dream? I actually believe that this might happen, but I can do something about it. When will you say that you can do something about it? When will you say that you can do something about your dysfunctional family or the traumas that you had had at a young age? Because someone intercepted a negative thought, and that led to another negative thought, and then another one, and it led to trauma of you and the person that did the trauma, that did the bad deed. If you're irritable, question yourself why. What kinds of thoughts are you having in your mind? Why should you pay attention to the irritability when you shouldn't be wasting time on it? You only have so much time on earth to learn, but you don't want to be learning till you turn 120 years old. We need to wake up, and we keep saying we need to wake up, like what I just said. If you're willing and open to your journey, then you must be willing to not be afraid of others judging you, and you need to tell it like it is. You also need to be willing to make your say to the universe, whether that's in a group or whether that's in person. And you not need to be afraid, because the more that you are, the more that they'll have a handle on you in your brain, in your mindset, in the very cell that you download from the universe or get intercepted of negative thoughts. If you can understand what I'm talking about right now, the good ETs are coming, they have come, and they're here, and they want to help, but it's up to you to be willing and allowing them to do so. Otherwise, the other option is the other ETs that are here for a different benefit. The benefit that they already had through COVID. The benefit that they are still having through vaccines. This is my spiritual disclosure. Believe it or not, right? But you will see it in the coming days, weeks, and months if you don't believe it. Some of you blame the blame game. COVID took my family member away. The vaccines are now taking some of my family members away. These illnesses are taking my family members away. You will blame, but you wouldn't realize. Is it really COVID? Is it really vaccines? On the front end, perhaps. That's what it looks like. But in the deeper end, and on the spiritual take, it is more than the vaccine, than the COVID. It's more than those who you blame. And this needs to be stopped. Everything of negativity needs to be stopped. For some people, you say, well, you can't live without the yin and the yang, the black and the white. Yes, that is how it is, and that is how it became. But that isn't how it must be. I say it today, and I disclose it today, because It is too much for humanity to accept. That's why there's been a denial, so much denial, and yet there's also been so much willingness to seek and to find the truth. When you find it, will you believe it? When you hear it, will you say? And will you come to your seeking truth and say and know and that you believe it, right? And that you will apply it to your life and this cycle so that you and your children that you will hopefully continue to have, because there's already so much infertility. Guess what? And why infertility happens, especially in this day and age. It comes back and boils back down to the same old dark versus light. The one who has implemented in this system of negativity for the real and natural human beings to be able to take flight in their lives, to be able to live how they can and shall, to enslave them again and again and again, physically and foremost spiritually, even to the very spirit is enslaved. Those who have been lost in COVID times are now in the spirits held in slavery. It's very hard for them to connect back to their loved ones. Though they will come in dreams, yes. They will come in messages, yes. But there is a part of them that has been enclosed. And I'm sorry to say, because I work with those spirits every single day. And when I have the chance to make my say, it is very hard to release them so that they can be freed. The question to you is, this whole system needs to be changed. Will you be willing to accept the change? The more that you are willing to, the good change that is, the more things of good will come. Though we will see on the front end, and there's no denial to it, in all war and love, warfare. Warfare, spiritually, energetically, and physically, mentally and emotionally. There is no break. But you must understand and implement your say. Remember that it is in your spiritual journey, whether you are a believer of any type of religion right now, it does not matter. Because what matters is, do you have love in your heart for humanity? The only way and reason why there's religion is because there is a need for control. Somewhere, somewhat. So, do you want to be under this control? I leave that up to you. Do you also want to help with humanity? And if you are wanting to be a caring person, because whether you have enemies or not, you still care for the person and their eyes, their soul. You naturally have this inside of you because it is the system that you're in, within, and this is without the tangible system, the system that you already knew and know for the longest time, and so did your ancestors and the ones that who put you here on earth. This is the system within, the universal law of the universe, the universal values that we carry when we know what is right and we know what is wrong, and how we decipher how to go about life. This is our universal values. Go back to that basic. Decipher what needs to be. Discern yourself from light and dark, and give yourself a break from hitting that huge wall or being surprised when the huge change comes. This is my disclosure today to you. Whether you believe it or go with it or not go with it. I also want to say this for the last piece. Don't put politics in your life, though some of you might think you have to, but you don't have to because that is your choice. These things are all made up for control purposes. And if you don't believe me, continue. And you will be in control because then you're taking a side. You'll need to still awaken to light or dark. It doesn't mean that you take a side, but it means you are for humanity. Can you decipher that? Warm blessings, and we'll talk again some other time. Comment down below or on the chat and let me know what your thoughts are. If you are unafraid to show and to make your say, then wake up today, because we have no other time. Times are coming. It is soon. I don't want to sound like another 60s peace person, right? That says, oh, they are coming. They are already here. Whether you like it or not, they are in your head, day in and day out. And you just need to decipher and close out the negative ones, because you will start to see negative results and negative action. The more that you can start to decipher and discern yourself with a positive reaction and a positive action and initiation, then the more positivity that can come into your life, and the more that we can have done this in the world. If you are listening, you are a part of this conscious well-being, this conscious awakening, and we are a part of the whole universe that can hear us, that can know us, that helps us to make our lives and improve them and sustain our human race. Why is it that you should be concerned with sustaining the human race? Because you will be affected, if not today, then tomorrow, in the next life. This is the effects. This is the system without a system. Warm blessings to all of you. Love goes out to everyone, whether you're good or bad, or you think that you are or not, whether you are worthy or not. You're living, breathing. If you're fighting for money, if you're fighting for something good, but just know that at the end of the day, what are you really fighting for? Did you miscommunicate something? Did someone miscommunicate something to you that you don't know of, that is unknown of? So the question is, do you fight for a right that maybe you don't know even what you're fighting for, or that you've been misled to fight for something and that you don't know the true facts? Find your facts first before you start to fight for something that you think that might be right. At the end of the day, it might not be. Warm blessings from Master Shaman Palai Chi, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.